What's up, everybody? It's your boy MCD, aka Dante Marfred, founder and owner of DM Squid Plan Productions. You guys know who I am. You guys watch my videos, and today I'm going to show you a video from one of my favorite YouTube channels, Geography Now, which covers different countries around the world and shows about their culture, their demographics, and other stuff like the people, the celebrities in the country and all that. So let's watch a video about my country, St. Lucia.
Alright, we are covering the three St. Triplet countries of the Caribbean, and today we cover the sister triplet along with her two brothers, St. Lucia. If, like most people, you don't know anything about St. Lucia, basically, if the Caribbean islands were a school, St. Lucia would be like...
Jamaica, Barbados, Grenada, and St. Lucia people.
Hey, back off! She's mine!
You guys, you're traveling.
She's mine. Oh, she's mine. Is that sexual? Yeah, St. Lucia is the hot chick of the Caribbean. It's time to learn geography now! Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbs. As you know, the Caribbean countries get the least amount of views on this channel, so I'm giving them special privilege. I literally went to these countries. Like, look, I still have like my tan line. By the way, thank you Tourism Authority of St. Lucia for contacting me and hooking me up with pretty much everything. So anyway, today we cover the sister triplet St. Lucia, the only country in the world named after a woman. Their tourism slogan is even let her inspire you. And even the country has physical features of a woman. The locals clearly showed me that the tallest mountain in the country looks like her face.
Yes, people, St. Lucia is named after a woman named St. Lucy from Ireland or something like that. Yeah.
These scenic volcanic plug.
This is what you call the Pitons, people. I mean, if you guys travel and you come to St. Lucia already, you guys should know what are these two mountains. But for people that don't know, these are the Pitons, people. Piti Pito and Go Pito.
Are her breasts, and the steaming volcano is her head.
And these are the sulfur springs, people. It's like in the volcano. But no, wait, no. Well, no, that's a volcano, not the sulfur spring. That's a volcano, people. Sorry, my bad. The sulfur springs is on the other side.
Hey. Anyway, this intro is getting long. We gotta move on. First off, the globe, shall we? St. Lucia is sometimes called the Helen of the West Indies because she was desired and fought over like more than any other island. First of all,
14 times, people. 7 times British and 7 times French.
St. Lucia is located in the Caribbean, part of the Lesser Antilles, which are all the small islands hooking on the right side past Puerto Rico, and further part of the Windward Islands, which are the bottom 5 islands that stretch to South America. It is about 27 miles long and 14 miles wide. The island has about 20 or so smaller islets just off their shores. Pigeon Island used to be an island until it was connected to the mainland via a man-made causeway in 1972.
Yes, people, Pigeon Island was not an island before, and it became an island in 72. But St. Lucia is located between Martinique, people, the French territory of France, and St. Vincent, and it's to the west of Barbados, or Barbados, what you want to call it, where Rihanna is from.
The country is made up of 10 districts, with the capital and largest city of about 70,000 people.
Yes, people, these are the, let me show you guys this.
An island used to be an island until it was connected to the mainland via a man-made causeway in 1972. The country is made up of 10...
Wait, what did I say? Sorry people. Sorry people. Oh no. I see that Pigeon Island was an island. Was not an island. It was an island. My bad, people. My bad. I mean, I don't really pay attention to everything around St. Lucia, but who cares? You guys should take information about that, people. Even though it's my country, I don't really mind every single thing about my country. There are many things I don't know about my country, and later on in life I will learn. But let me show you guys the districts. Rosile, Dennery, Micoud, Beaufort, Labrie, Choiseul, Soufrière, Canis, Ancillary, and Castries, the capital, where I'm from, where I'm recording right now. Parvery, Castries, St. Lucia.
The capital and largest city of about 70,000 people, Castries, located in the northwest side of the country. The next largest towns would be Gros-Islet and Beaufort down south, which actually holds the largest airport, Hewanora International.
Yes, Hewanora International Airport is an international airport where people from every part of the world can come, pass through, and blah 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 blah. While George F.L. Charles.
This airport is where most international flights come into, which is why the country is investing so much in this one town to attract the tourists to stay instead of complaining about needing to get taxis to get all the way up to the hotspots like Castries or Soufrière. Castries has the second and only other airport, Castries George F.
Yes, people, the second airport in St. Lucia, the George F.L. Charles Airport. It travels to only the regional islands like Barbados and St. Kitts and Dominica and blah 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 blah.
L. Charles Airport, which has a shorter runway that only handles regional turboprop and prop airplanes from other nearby islands. The country also has many other means of transport, the largest port being the port of Castries, where cruises and yachts.
Yes, people, that's the port of Castries. That's just down the road, people. The harbor, you know, is just down the road, and blah blah blah. So yeah.
Usually dock, whereas much of the cargo vessels dock at Port Cul-de-sac at
Cul-de-sac, that's where they keep the oil, people, and blah blah blah, and stuff like that.
terminal, which holds massive crude oil storage tanks that cooperate with countries like the USA, Venezuela, and Colombia. From there, you have three main roads that go around the island: the East Coast Road, the West Coast Road, and the Grosile Highway that goes all the way to the northern tip of the island. This whole
Yes, people, the East Coast Road, the West Coast Road. I don't know too much about these roads, but I know these roads can be like, I mean, from Castries, you can pass through the East Coast Road to reach to Dennery, all the way to like Miku up until Vieux-Fort. The West Coast Road, I mean, you can pass there too to reach to Vieux-Fort too. It'll be a long ride because you have to pass through Choiseul and blah 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 blah. Grosile Highway is the highway that you have to pass to go to Grosile. I mean, if you guys can come to St. Lucia already, you guys already know. So.
section here is only accessible by small local paths, many of which are not fully paved or even accessible by vehicle. The country is
That's what you call that's the northeast side of St. Lucia. That's Grand Anse. That's a beach right there. A beach? Yeah.
planning on maybe building a highway in the future, but for now, the number 6 shaped
Nope, we never plan on making no highway there in the future. Nope.
road network is the main means of road transport. Also, fun fact, they are part of the Commonwealth of Nations, and I have to give a little retraction from our Liberia and Myanmar episodes. Like many other English-speaking former British colonized states, they actually do use, to some extent, imperial units, like miles and gallons, so there's more than two.
Woo! I knew you Caribbean folks were alright. We're not alone, Liberia and Myanmar.
In any case, today most town names and places are named after French words, but
Yes, people, most town names are named after French words. As you can see, Dennery, Grosile, Castries, Miku, Vieux-Fort, Soufrière. Well, Vieux-Fort sounds English, but Soufrière, Pralet, and so on and so forth.
have like an anglicized, bastardized pronunciation. Reason being because instead of renaming everything after the French left, they just kind of repronounced everything. So it's like Soufrière, Choiseul, Carénage.
Oh, hell no. I'm just gonna call it Castries.
For what it's worth though, St. Lucia is kind of known for being the love and romance island of the Caribbean.
Yep, St. Lucia is the love and romance island of the Caribbean. St. Lucia has won many awards for being the most romantic Caribbean island, 14 times in a row more than any Caribbean island, and blah blah blah.
It was voted the #1 honeymoon destination by the
Yeah.
World Travel Award.
Number one, and yeah, travel honeymoon destination, blah blah blah.
9 times.
14 times now.
That's romantic.
10,
Why, yes, it is.
14 or 10, or I don't know, it's 14 or 10, 12 times. One of them, 12 times, or one of them.
I mean, the resorts and beaches are insanely accommodating. The views are pristine and
That's Rodney Bay, people. Rodney Bay, look, the Pigeon Island right there. The Pigeon Island right there, people. That's Pigeon Island.
opulent. You will see the colors blue, black, yellow, and white everywhere on telephones.
Yes, because we love our country. That's what you call patriotism. People that are proud to be Lucian, they have the national flag everywhere, painted on buildings, on poles, and flags when it comes to like Independence Day and all that.
On cars, on buildings. Oh, and the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were.
Yes, Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed there. And Yeah.
Partially filmed here as well, and you can actually see the real pearl ship in Grosile Harbor. They just kind of left it there after filming.
Yeah, well, we have the entire set of Port Royal.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in the next episode. Stay tuned. And speaking of cool things to see in the country, here is a list of notable spots and sites you might want to check out in case you ever decide to visit. The aerial cable tram, Pigeon Island.
Yes, the aerial cable tram. That's the cable tram in the forest where the tourists can go to do the zip lining and all that there. So, well, not only zip lining but other stuff too. As you can see, Pigeon Island. That's the island where tourists go to or anybody located just by Sandals in Grosile.
Rizzo Rum Distillery, Diamond Water.
Rose Rum Distillery where they create the rum, the Pitons and all that. The Diamond Waterfall and Gardens, that's in Soufrière. Yeah.
Falling Gardens, Mamiku Gardens,
I don't know where Mamiku Gardens is, but it can be somewhere in Soufrière and all that. Ted Paul Peak, that's I see that Soufrière, so yeah. Most of these things are in Soufrière. I never been to all of the places around St.Lucia, so I know I've been to Diamond Falls. I think so. Yeah, I think I've been to Diamond Falls. Yeah. I believe, I can't remember. Long time ago, I can't remember.
Paul Peak, the horse racing track.
Yes, Beaufort Horse Racing Track. That's in Beaufort. I mean, it just opened that like 2 years ago last year.
Port View, a ton of churches.
Yes, people, that's the churches. That's Grosile, that's Soufrière, and Castries. That's the Catholic Church, Basilica of the Immaculate Conception, and that's what they call it. I don't know. I know of it as the Catholic Church. That's in Castries. One is in Soufrière, Church of the Assumption. I know what I mean. That's what was a Pentecostal church. All of these churches. I know that's good. Soufrière. That's Castries. When you pass in town, I mean tourists pass in town every day, so they'll know about that. And this is in Grosile.
Is like these Castries Market.
Yes, that's the Castries Market. As soon as you enter the Castries Market, like the building, you will see that people selling these things to tourists.
The Central Library,
Yes, that's the Central Library, as you just saw. Hold on.
Distillery, Diamond Waterfall and Gardens, Mamiku Gardens, Paul Peak, the horse racing track at Fort View, a ton of churches like these, Castries Market,
Yes, people, as the Central Library is in the heart of Castries, next to the Blue Coral Mall and the Johnson Center, next on the Airport Square. You know where people usually go to like read books. Well, not really read books, but like to collect books. Or there is an internet cafe inside of the Central Library which people go to do their personal business. So yeah.
Central Library, Derek Walcott Square.
Yes, that's a Derek Walcott Square next to the library, in which people usually go and relax for fun. And it's just below me. It's just right, like, I don't say below me, but it's in Castries in town. But like, I live on Pave, and you know, the town is just down the road. So yeah. I mean, yeah, people usually go to relax. The tourists usually go there and take pictures and stuff like that.
King George V Park. Yep.
Yes, King George V Park. That's
Mamiku Gardens, Paul Peak, the horse racing track at Fort View, a ton of churches like these, Castries Market, the Central Library, Derek Walcott Square, King George V.
King George V Park. That's in by the Grosile bus stand. That's like, yeah, by the Grosile bus stand, by a place called Conway. You know, the ghetto. And yeah, but next to the Anglican school and church and blah blah blah.
Park,
The Apostles Battery. I think that's somewhere in Upton by the South Louis Community College and stuff like that. These are that's the canon. Like, it's a historical artifact because the French or British people used to fight for St. Lucia, so you know they had the cannons bringing all that.
Battery,
But like Boucher State, I think that's an old historical site because back in the 16th century, no, the 17th century, people used to make sugar. They had sugar plantations in St. Lucia, so yeah.
So many abandoned sugar mills, but the coolest one probably being in Balambush Estate. This monument, but the most.
Yes, the monument that's in Upton.
The Central Library, Derek Walcott Square, King George V Park, the Apostles Battery. So many abandoned sugar mills, but the coolest one probably being in Balambush Estate.
Yes, The monument, that's Mount Fortune by the South Louis Community College, the college I went to. Yeah.
This monument, but the most iconic landmark of the country, though, is actually a beautiful natural site known as the Pitons. But you know the deal,
As I
physical
said in the video first, the Pitons people, yeah.
and makeup, that has to be explained in the next section. Okay, so I guess now I can explain. The Pitons are the most treasured and revered landmark of the nation. They are so proud of these two sharp vertical volcanoes.
Yes, people, the Pitons are well known in St. Lucia. I mean, almost every tourist usually visits Soufre to see the Pitons and all that. It's a very well known historical site. Well, yeah, site mountain, whatever.
Volcanic plugs. Here are some janky drone footage shots I got, and it's even on their flag, which we will discuss.
Yes, people, the St. Lucian flag, the triangles represents the Pitons people. The blue represents the sea, yellow the sun, black and white are the people. Because St. Lucia has not only black people but white people too.
In any case, here's the landscape makeup explained. First of all, St. Lucia sits on the convergence of the Caribbean plate and the North American plate. This subduction is what essentially causes...
I mean, there are Arab and Chinese too, but
part where all the smaller Caribbean islands are found. Essentially, many of these islands were formed volcanically, and St. Lucia being one of the most active. The country is over 85% mountainous and about 77% forested, mostly on the...
Yes, people, that's true. That's some valid information. That is true. The rain is falling, but who cares? I'll raise my voice. St. Lucia is 85% mountainous. Almost everywhere St. Lucia has mountains. It is 77% forested, which everywhere are tall trees. I mean, most everywhere St. Lucia are forested. So, yeah.
Inland, the tallest point being Mount Jimmy on the southwest.
Yes, people, Mount Jimmy, that's a secret.
These jagged mountains allow numerous natural harbors on the edges, which is one of the reasons why it was coveted so much between the British and French, and it also allows small rivers and creeks to meander throughout the valleys, including the longest river, the Roseau, that flows into the Caribbean. The
Roseau River, people. That's the Roseau.
country has no main inland bodies of water, and the closest thing to a lake would probably be the reservoir created by the John Compton Dam on the Roseau River. The country really only has two seasons: the dry season from December to June, and the wet season from June to November. Hurricanes do occasionally may strike.
Yes, people, we have the dry season and the wet season. As you can see, depending on the rain is falling, so we are in the wet season, I guess. Hurricanes usually strike in St. Lucia, but not all the time. Okay, people, hurricanes don't usually strike St. Lucia too much.
But it is rare that they feel the full force of one. Only two in the past 30 years have caused noticeable damage. Allen and that.
Yes, people, Hurricane Allen, that's in 1980. It was a devastating hurricane. Hurricane Thomas, people, I remember when it struck in 2010. I was in high school or secondary school. It was very devastating.
Finally, due to the pummeling winds of the Atlantic hitting the east side, mixed with the warm moisture of the Caribbean to the west, the mountains penetrate the miniature rain shadow effect, which causes the flatter valleys of the southeast side to be slightly drier than the forested areas of the north. Yeah, that's the thing you'll notice. The south side actually is noticeably drier than the north. It almost looks like a savannah. In any case, I'm getting kind of tired. I need my triple shot of espresso break from mug. So that means Noah comes in for his segment. Hey, I'm Noah. You can get a shirt at junkienow.com as well. Or I asked for Noah, not me. So, I'm back. Now, physically, as a Caribbean nation, St. Lucia is special in a lot of ways. For one, they are a geothermal island with active vents, the most famous one being Sulphur Springs, the world's only drive-in volcano.
Yes, people, the Sulphur Springs, the only driving volcano, blah, 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 blah.
Here you can not only stop by on the sides, witness steaming fountains and bubbling ponds of muddy water that have a pungent sulphur smell, you can also stop by the hot spring and mud bath area. There you can jump into the warm pools.
People, that's the Sulphur Springs, when you talk about it's black, and you can pass like the sulfur on your skin and go in the on the hot springs. It's very, very hot. Not hot to go in your skin like acid, but it's hot.
Or you can slab exfoliating mud all over yourself, let it dry, and then jump back in and wipe off
you guys
the mud.
call it mud, we call it sulfur. You guys call it mud, we call it sulfur. That's the sugar cane, people. What is by Noah's face.
Historically, St. Lucia switched from being a sugar-dominated industry to a banana-producing powerhouse. Today,
Yes.
banana.
Well, before bananas used to sell used to be a good like what should I say? Not barter trade. I mean, so it used to help St. Lucia a lot, the bananas, but now it don't really help St. Lucia like before. I mean, the government sucks.
Are still grown, the largest concentration in Brazil. But
yes, people, the Roseau plantation is the largest banana plantation in St. Lucia. I mean, there are lots and lots, like it's huge.
the industry has waned and more people are growing other crops either to diversify the agriculture sector. This, of course, leads us to the obvious fact. The largest industry that keeps them afloat at around 65% of their GDP is in tourism.
I'm a backpacker on a budget.
Yes, people, the tourism, St. Lucia benefits on tourism, but the tourism doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't make St. Lucia money that much.
Go here?
Yeah, kind of. You can find lower-end Airbnb accommodations and cheaper activities, but generally, keep in mind most places of interest.
That's Castries, people by Noah's Head. Castries, the capital of St. Lucia. Yeah, it looks like a very small city. Small buildings, but I mean, when you come to St. Lucia and you see how it is, you will be amazed. It's great.
Cater to the high end. Luxury cruise lines dock daily, and visitors usually opt to stay at high-end resorts.
Yes, people, that's Jade Mountain Hotel. That's in Soufriere. That's where the celebrities, like well-known celebrities like Kevin Hart and what's his name, Jason Bourne, what's his name, Matt Damon. I mean, these two guys came to St. Lucia already. I think Oprah Winfrey, all of those people, Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Of course. On top of that, like many other Caribbean nations, they have a 15% value added tax on purchases.
Oh, wow. I mean, okay. So you mean like sales tax?
It's basically sales tax.
Dang, California already has like 10%, and I thought that was high. Hey, come here, man. It's like a duty-free zone, bro.
Guys, shut up. My episode.
Anyway, one issue the country faces has been littering and outskirting rural areas.
Yes, people, St. Lucia people like to litter a lot. They're very nasty. Man up. I don't know why, but they like to litter a lot. Irresponsible Lucians.
Areas away from resorts. To combat this, numerous recycling facilities have been built by the government, mostly inland by the town of Bexton, which is good
Bexon, not Bexton, Bexon.
because it keeps the land lush and green, not only aesthetically appealing, but optimal for animals. And here's our animal correspondent to explain.
Curialo here. St. Lucia is a reptile.
Yes, St. Lucia has a lot of iguanas, people. Not a lot, but some, I think. Some.
Island bird paradise. Today, lizards and geckos can be found crawling over the.
Yes, people, lizards and geckos mostly lizards are found crawling everywhere, in people's house, outside people's house, and random places, I guess. But I usually see lizards around my house almost every day.
All over buildings and vehicles. The island is a haven for birds of all kinds, like finches and warblers. Snakes of all kinds.
Yes, we have snakes in St. Lucia, people.
Here as well, including what
Ancillary.
considered the most rare snake in the world, Kues snake. The island only has two main wild species of mammals, mongoose and the agouti.
Yes, people, I see the mongoose every day. Yeah, agouti, I never came across an agouti, but the mongoose, let me see that.
Here as well, including what is considered the most rare snake in the world, Kues snake. The island only has two main wild species of mammals, mongoose.
Yes, people, the mongoose. I see these things mostly every day now.
And the agouti. Now you're more likely to find dogs and cats roaming around.
Yes, people, we have a lot of stray dogs everywhere, people. Stray dogs. I mean, black Lucians don't know how to take care of their dogs properly. Black Lucians.
Everywhere freely. It's hard to distinguish if they're pets or
Stray cats and dogs are everywhere.
strays, but very often they're most likely strays. And finally, the national animal, the St. Lucia parrot, is the only bird endemic to the country. It's a vibrant, beautiful array of colourful feathers.
Yes, people. Yeah. This bird is called the Amazona versicolor. It is a St. Lucia parrot, but it is called the Amazona versicolor.
us.
Thank you. Now, we finish off this segment as we always do. Food! St. Lucia is home to a wide variety of dishes, some of which you can find in other Caribbean states, like callaloo, lambi, pepper pot.
Callaloo, lambi, and you see that?
Segment as we always do. Food! St. Lucia is home to a wide variety of dishes, some of which you can find in other Caribbean states, like callaloo,
Callaloo, lambi, that's fish cake,
lambi, pepper
pepper pot. I don't think I ever came across pepper pot. Must be in the hotels.
pots. I mean, Marvel character pepper pots. The more Lucian specialties, though, include things like cocoa tea,
Yep, we love cocoa tea. We love bouillon.
on stew, farine, and cassava bread.
Yeah, we love that. Float cakes. Bakes, yeah, we love
Bakes,
that.
and any drink made by the Pitons company,
Yeah,
as well as a
Pitons.
national dish.
Green vegan saltfish people. Yes, that's our national dish. That's what Lucians usually eat. Like, not only notice, but at the home, mostly every day.
Green fig salad and saltfish.
Oh, and if you ever stop by, check out the Fondue Chocolate Plantation, where you can witness the traditional way of making chocolate.
It's for
There's
dog.
cocoa fruit, which is actually kind of tangy and sweet. And if you see him, say hi to Clinton. He'll show you the chocolate dance, and then a massive
I
metal
know
tub mixing
Clinton
the cocoa
people.
seed
I don't know who's Clinton people. First time I see Clinton, I don't know who's Clinton.
by feet.
And that's kind of the Lucian way. They like to make work fun, nice people, which brings us to.
Thank you, Noah.
You're welcome.
I asked you guys, the Lucian geography, what do you feel when you say you are Lucian? And here are some of the things you said.
I would say our language and how friendly we are.
Not all of the Caribbean islands speak Creole.
Right.
So you'd be able to tell the difference.
Paradise, St. Lucian, paradise place. Talking, the talking. You're gonna say there's St. Lucia. Talking is the way we're gonna say it in Creole, like is Acadiol.
It's a must. You must find some wisdom.
I know this lady, guys. That's St. Lucia National Trust here.
St. Lucia. I don't want to be anybody else. I'm proud to be a Lucian.
You know, I always enjoy someone asking me where I'm from, and they'll be like, man, I have to visit this place.
St. Lucians are descendants of brigands, and they were fighters. If they feel
Yes, people, brigands were fighters in St. Lucia from like the 17th to 18th century. No, 19th century, 18th century. It was the 18th century.
thing is right, it should be owned by us.
Anyway, first of all, the country has almost 200,000 people.
I mean, St. Lucia St. Lucia has almost 200,000 people. I mean, what is meant to be a Lucian is like just the language, the way the way we speak, and just representing your country. That's just what it is to be a Lucian. Representation of your nation. I mean, your speech and your language, your native language, yeah, accent and everything.
Was fought over 14 times between the British and French, more times than any other country in the
There are
Caribbean.
people 14 times British and French.
The majority of the country is Afro-Caribbean.
Yes, people, majority of the Caribbean of St. Lucian people are black people.
About 85%. Almost all are descendants of slaves brought over from colonial times.
Yep.
In addition, there are another 10% or so.
Yes, 10% mixed race people, white and black, or black and Indian.
Mixed race people, mostly between black and European. Then you have a small minority of Indians at about 2%.
Yes, the Indian race people, the Indians, we have some Indians here.
And mostly descendants of servants brought over from Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand in India back in the 19th century. The remaining 3% are all other.
I mean, white Lucians, yes. Kalinabo Caribs, that's up for debate. That's up for debate. People say like they are the descendants of Caribs. Then Wikipedia say we have Amerindian, we have Caribs here, so I don't know. It's up for debate. I don't know. But I don't know who is a Carib. I don't know if they like. I'm not really with descendants of Caribs. Not really Carib, pure Carib descendants. You know.
Groups including the native Kalinago Caribs and white Lucians, mostly with English heritage.
They use the East Caribbean dollar as their currency. They use the American types A and B plug outlets, sometimes the British type G, and they drive on the left side of the road. Which is funny because you'll notice they prefer to import a lot of non-customized cars from Japan. So you'll see a lot of dashboard touchscreens in Japanese, and the people just kind of figure out what the buttons mean without actually knowing how to read Japanese. I saw this in all 3 Saint countries, no joke. If there's one thing that Lucians can show a deep sense of distinct pride apart from the rest of their cousins, it's the fact that they are officially a bilingual nation with English and their own unique Lucian Creole, which is French-based. During slavery times, the African inhabitants were kind of
When you speak English, when you speak French Creole, we also speak Creole English. I mean, that's our broken English. So like soccer fit. You know what he's saying there? All happened there. So soccer fit means what? Like all happened? Saudi la, what you saying? Ula, you there? Blah blah blah.
centuries of confusion. I mean, it was like,
So, repeat after me. The word is address.
non. Répétez-moi. Le mot, c'est adresse.
Address.
Adresse.
Address.
Adresse.
Adresse.
And it stuck. It has been somewhat standardized. They have a Lucian Creole dictionary.
Yes, they have the official Lucian Creole dictionary. I have it on my tablet to go through when I feel like blah blah blah.
Schools are allowed to teach in both languages. Essentially, they can pretty much communicate with all the other
Schools don't really. Well, I think now they teach Creole, but they were not doing that before.
French-based Creole Caribbean.
I mean, these are all the French Creole-based Caribbean islands: Dominica, Haiti, and Martinique, and Guadeloupe. St.Lucia, yeah, but
in countries, and generally they can communicate with the French when they visit, as long as they don't talk too fast. I was told by you guys some popular things all Lucians say is hey,
yeah,
and hee, salop.
that's a curse word. Real vibes. Even I'm gonna see that day, but all I I'm gonna see that I was laughing, really.
I think that last one was like a swear word, but whatever, nobody except you guys, the Lucians, will care. The country is relatively well off compared to their neighbors, and it all has to do with the government putting a huge emphasis on education, which follows many methods from the Lewis model. It helped them transition out of an agrarian-based economy to a service-driven one in the mid to late 20th century. It was kind of like,
oh man, I'm a mess. I gotta send a ton of my people to universities abroad. Knowledge is power and stuff.
Hi everybody, I'm totally more developed and geopolitically on par with other sustainable sovereignties. Want to take a walk on the beach? I just had to stand in Port from Guyana, but whatever.
And that's kind of partially how St. Lucia has gone from bananas to luxury resorts. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, St. Lucia wasn't so developed, but now they get developed now and all that.
Hey, that's all the technical stuff. So now here's the fun culture stuff, and with that, it's time for Random Hannah.
In essence, St. Lucia is
St. Lucia is a developing state, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It's actually developing. I mean, from when you look at St. Lucia back in the 30s and 40s and 50s, and now, I mean, St. Lucia has developed a lot. But we're still developing.
a country that loves to show itself off whenever it can. In fact, October is considered
Creole month, yes, people. October is Creole month, people.
Creole Month, where all the festivities highlight the importance of the Lucian Creole identity. During the festivities, many fun activities are performed.
I mean, yeah, we have activities. We have bamboo busting. We have people wearing the Creole outfit. People. We have our own Creole events. I mean, schools do it too. I mean, in the schools do it too. Celebrate Creole Month and all that. And we usually eat the national dish. And we speak a lot of Creole, they make a lot of Creole songs and we speak Creole a lot and blah 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 blah. They usually show the history of St. Lucia, I guess, or just its independence.
Like bamboo bursting, in which the locals make makeshift cannons out of large hollowed out bamboo poles with kerosene fueled.
Yeah, they do that bamboo bursting. They do that usually before the day of Creole Day or Creole Month. Yeah, they do it on Creole Month and usually New Year's. Something like that. Creole month on something. Or independence. Yeah, independence.
Whoa, that's really cool. We should do that here at Geography Now. Blast things up. The biggest festival, though, would have to
the jazz festival, people. Because of COVID-19, we don't have it. But before COVID-19, we usually hold a thing called the jazz festival, in which different artists around the world usually come to perform here in St. Lucia. And we have our local artists performing it too. So, before it used to take place in a place called the Mindo Philip Park, just by my home, a place called Marshall. but just by Pave. But they have it now at the Pigeon Island National.
To be the Jazz and Arts Festival in May. Cricket is probably the most popular.
Yeah, cricket and football are the most popular sport, but more cricket or the same level. I don't know because of Darren Sammy. Well, not because of Darren Sammy. It was always a popular sport before Darren, but I mean, yeah.
Fourth, Darren Sammy probably being the most notable player.
Yeah, Darren Sammy is actually a celebrity in St. Lucia and India and Pakistan because I mean he plays cricket, international cricket. So
there's even a stadium named after
yes, the Darren Sammy Stadium, which was the Wasiju Stadium.
him. Lucians are proud of the fact.
Yes, people, we have two Nobel laureates per capita. Both of them are dead. So after Lewis, in which the school is named after him, in which I mentioned a while ago, he got the Nobel laureate for economics, and Derek Walcott, honorable for literature. Well, one in 1979 and the other one in 1992.
They have two Nobel laureates, which make them the country with the highest number of prize winners per capita. Just like other islands on the French or French-influenced Caribbean, the Madras dress in the traditional garb of women. The majority of the country is Christian, about 93%.
Yes, people. 60% Catholic. Yes, people. St. Lucia is a very, very Christian nation, but we have a lot of. Well, the crime is not so high like other places in the world, but I mean, the crime is actually getting to a higher state. But St. Lucia is a very, very Christian. I mean, a lot of people usually go to church. Usually the older folks, like in their 50s and 60s and all that. So, yeah.
The largest denomination being Catholic at about 60%. Buildings in St. Lucia are generally
Yes, Catholic is the. Most Lucians are Catholic.
built lower to the ground to withstand hurricane season. The tallest building is the National Insurance Building at
The NIC building, people, that's just by the waterfront. I mean, it kind of looks like skyscraper, like, but it's short, but it's still like a kind of tallish, with almost reaching the skyscraper height.
only 7 stories tall. When visiting, you'll probably notice that most homes are built on
If it was like 3 stories tall or 4, it would be like a skyscraper.
columns. And you would think it was to level off hillsides or assist with floods, but that's not necessarily the case. Many Aleutians actually do this because they see it as a future investment. They build their homes as a single elevated unit. At the lower
Yes, people, that's how we build our houses. People.
exposed level,
That's how we build our houses in pillars. People, most Lucians build their houses in pillars.
could eventually be converted into a second
But I mean, St. Lucia has a lot of nice houses, so let's move on.
rental or business. And finally, as mentioned,
Yes, people, the Henry segment. Check the fellas, you boy. Migos, Marta, Narcis, Chemi J. Let me show you guys. This guy went to my secondary school, people. This guy went to my secondary school, people. You won't see him properly, but yeah. If you watch the video, you will know. You'll see him. Shemi Johannes. Went to my secondary.
Lucians take huge pride in their Creole. In fact, much of the recent revival is attributed.
That's Moto, people. Moto, the guy with the microphone. I don't know if you can see him well, but that's Moto. He pushed the Henry segment genre to its peak.
To Creole artists in the music industry. They kind of popularized and made Creole cool sounding to young people. To explain that, we go to the swamps of Florida with Floridian Key.
Wait, you have one more line.
Oh, and I'm going here for my birthday. What?
Happy birthday to you.
Oh,
Happy birthday to you. You want to go to St. Lucia?
yeah, sure, I'm going to St. Lucia. What?
So, Hannah, I have done nothing for you since you joined Geography Now. And I even missed your birthday. This is my way of saying happy birthday to Hannah.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
You and Ian. You and Ian.
Look at this Geography Now game.
Congratulations, Hannah. Alright, so hey guys, so just so you know, Rush is one of my favorite bands, so you know, fair use and all that stuff, ooh, no suing. Now, St. Lucia has lots of different musical preferences. Most fall within the general Caribbean group of genres like reggae, Afro-punk.
Yeah, St. Lucia, the music of St. Lucia is actually from like taken from different Caribbean islands. So, but we have our own music, but it's not really to the mainstream like reggae and calypso. Well, yeah, calypso and stuff.
In soca. However, the one subgenre that is distinctly Lucian that all people are proud of would
Well, the Denry segment is a subgenre. Or no, it's a. I think no. Denry segment it is own genre. I believe it's a soca genre. Denry segment is already a soca genre. It's actually kind of its own genre when you really listen to it.
be Denery segment. This style uses a much faster tempo, lyrics mixed with English and Creole, and usually the words are quite.
Yeah. That's one of the new segment artist people. And Moto, the guy who push it to his speak. I know you not see properly, but if you you see and Moto, Moto. This guy push the new segment to its speak.
Explicit and controversial, but it's played off in a very satirical and comedic way. Like, they are some of the only people
Yeah,
that.
Black Boy, Freezy, all those guys are the new segment artist people. Freezy and your Black Boy, DMD, to mind them. Yeah, Black Boy. He lives in the States now, so yeah.
Domestic violence sound funny in a song. This is the reason why Denery segment was actually banned from the radios. Fortunately,
Because of you guys, that's because of you guys, that's why I get to know that, but I don't know. The new segment, people usually play, but often not.
it was brought back because it was like,
Stop it, you punks! You're not allowed to play that garbage on the radio. We abolished Denery segment to the pits of hell.
Yes, people, the new segment, as a lot of haters, you consider like the new segment, the talk is nonsense when the guys are singing the song and stuff like that.
Hey, oh man, I love this music!
Let's buy all their albums.
The new segment, when you listen to some, the way they do their thing, the flow and everything, it's actually kind of good, but I don't really dig it too much. Some, not all, like a few.
Then invite these Lucians over. We can learn a thing or two from them.
Hey, those are my people, and it came from our nation. Don't you dare try to steal our culture.
in any case, Denery segment is played all the time during festivals and carnivals. As the Romance Nation, everywhere you go, you'll just hear some form of the Caribbean flair in the air. Alright, that's it. I got no bass guitar today. CGI.
Yeah, the new segment usually played mostly often on now. When you at its peak, when you reach to its peak, people will really play it every time, for carnival and parties and all that.
Bass guitar here, right here, or maybe put a fish in my hands while I air slap.
Thanks, Keith. And now we move on to the history segment. In the shortest way I can condense it, Taino native people,
There's the native people, the Caribs and rocks.
settlers, Kalinago tribe invasion, pirate settlement from the
Yes, people, that's a pirate settlement. I think he discovered St. Lucia, the first European to discover St. Lucia.
French, slavery,
They said Columbus, but Columbus didn't discover the thing. So just a myth. The slavery, French-British power struggle. Yeah.
British power struggle, Brigand slave rebellion.
Yeah, Brigand slave rebellion. That's the Brigands were the black fighters that were fighting against the people that was enslaving them. At first, St. Lucia, we were free from slavery after the battle, but when they came out with guns and all that, so we were trapped again. Battle for St. Lucia, British and French, blah blah blah.
Battle for St. Lucia, World War I, St. Lucians enlist,
Yeah,
World War
all that.
II, St. Lucians enlist,
All that.
Nazi U-boat attacks Castries, Castries fire of 1948, independence, fall of agriculture,
Yeah, Castries fire 1948. That was way back then. The whole city was under fire and all that. Was on fire. Fall of agriculture-based economy. Yes, St. Lucia is no longer an agriculture-based economy, but a tourism-based economy. That's why St. Lucia will never move forward in the backside.
economy, age of industry and tourism, and here we are today. Some of the most famous people you guys suggested we mention in this episode include Sir Dunstan St. Omer,
He's dead. He's dead. That's an artist of St. Lucia. He's dead.
Sir John George,
The first Prime Minister is dead.
Melvin Compton,
A singer, she's dead. Cultural singer, she's dead.
Marie Sophia Descartes, Johnson Charles,
Cricketer, Johnson Charles, Kenny Anthony.
And here we are today. Some of the most famous people you guys suggest we mention in this episode include Sir Dunstan St. Omer, Sir John George Melvin Compton, Dame Marie Sophia Descartes, Johnson
Charles is a cricketer like Darren Sammy, but he's not really like to his prime like Darren Sammy. I mean, he's known, but he's not like to his level like that. I mean, Darren Sammy gets all the shine, you know.
Charles,
Kenny Anthony is the fourth prime minister of St. Lucia in the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Anthony, Chef
Nina Compton, the daughter of the first prime minister, Sir John Compton. I mean, she was a top chef. If you guys ever watch Bravo TV.
Compton, all
that's St. Lucian artist people. Tennyson, John, Claudia Edward, Afa Ale. I don't know who's Nicola Dorville. Lashley Moto Winter. I know four of them, not one. I don't know who's Nicola. But I know those guys are that's R&B singers, soca, then segment, blah blah blah.
These singers and actors.
Yes, people. Fresh Prince, Joseph Marcel. You know Fresh Prince, people. Yeah, he's a St. Lucian people. The butler from Fresh Prince, he's a St. Lucian who moved to London, England. This guy Cox, he's a comedian, an actor. From a group, he has his own group called Check Up, a comedy group. You know, they usually make people laugh with Creole, but I don't really understand what they're saying, so.
Actors, Laverne
I don't know Creole too much, so. Laverne Spencer, that's an Olympian. I mean, if you guys ever watch Olympics and you come across St. Lucian people, Laverne Spencer is your girl.
Spencer and Campeche Creole comedy.
Yes, Cox. That's the group Cox, whatever. Yeah,
famous group. So there you go, the Romance Nation with a Creole culture, throw in some pirates and iguanas, and that's St. Lucia. And speaking of romance, let's see who this hot girl of the Caribbean is totally dating and into these days, shall we? St. Lucia is a country that loves to love, but she knows how to choose her crew wisely. For one, outside of the Caribbean, St. Lucia is tied heavily with both the USA and Canada, as they make up the largest visitor group out of anyone in the world, whether by air.
Yes, people. Americans and Canadians love St. Lucia people. That's why we have a lot of foreigners here too. Yeah. English people come here too, but more Americans, and you get more North Americans coming to St. Lucia more than anybody in the world. Because, yeah, as I said, they love St. Lucia, blah, blah, blah. They come there, they live there, blah, blah. They make the kids there, blah, blah, blah.
Or cruise ship. Business is huge between the two as well. U.S. company Hess Corp constructed a massive multi-billion-dollar petroleum refinery on the west side of the country that helps assist in the storage and transport of fuel across North America. The UK and France, of course, are still heavily tied with St. Lucia as well. As the former colony of both states, both countries people visit often, and both even have small...
Yes, people, there are a lot of St. Lucians living in America, Canada. Well, I don't know for France. Well, I know Mark Doom, a designer, lives in France. But I know for sure there are many Lucian people in America, Canada, and England. London, England. They love it.
Lucian communities living abroad, mostly in London or in the French overseas territories in the Caribbean, like Martinique, Guadeloupe, or Guyana.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Martinique, blah, 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 Guadeloupe, Guyana. I don't know about Guyana, but, well, yeah, Lucian Guyana. Lucian, they are Martinique, Lucian.
St. Lucia is one of the only few countries that recognizes Taiwan's sovereignty over the People's Republic of China. And
we have a relationship with Taiwan people since 2007. So,
in 2007, they formally recognized the state, effectively suspending ties with the PROC within a few days following. The Taiwanese president has visited and investment projects have been established, such as the helping of extending the international air.
Yes, people, Taiwan actually helps in mutual projects around. When you come to St. Lucia, you guys will see.
When it comes to their best friends, however, usually it falls within their Caribbean neighbors. As the only 3 sovereign states in the Caribbean to have extensive French colonial background, Haiti and Dominica have a special relationship with St. Lucia.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know they speak Creole. I mean, Haiti, St. Lucia, Dominica, they speak Creole. But Haiti, Haitian and Dominican Creole, some of the words, I mean, some of the words like Haiti and Dominica speak, we speak. But the rest, some other words, they don't really understand,
Haiti is like the big wild sister, and Dominica, often called Dominique, is like the quieter twin sister that likes to read and keep to herself. These three are the independent French Creole countries, and even though they are quite different culturally, when they meet up, they still nod and totally get each other. For their closest friends, though, I asked you guys the Lucian geography, and most of you agreed. The French overseas island territories of Guadeloupe and Martinique, often called Guada and Martinique, are probably the closest. These three islands have the closest Creole, they love each other and visit often. Multiple
Yes, people. Yes, solutions love Martinique.
flights and sea ferries connect them.
I know about Guadeloupe, but I know from Martinique.
Martinique is probably the closer one, as they were at one point a dependency of Martinique under the French West India Company. Today, many people have families in each other's islands, and they are absolutely infatuated and in love with each other.
In conclusion, St. Lucians are kind of weirdly proud of the fact that even though they have a history of colonialism and a little bit of chaos, they were still fought over 14 times more than anybody else. So they were kind of desired, and they still kept the identity of the Creole culture alive even after all those centuries. Stay tuned. St. Vincent is coming.
Yes, people. So that was our solution. Hope you guys enjoyed. Blah blah blah. Goodbye. Have a nice day and go and sleep.